Live from the Las Vegas Strip studio in scintillating Las Vegas, Nevada, I'm Brad Stein, and this is BettorCenter Live. You can watch us 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time daily, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the weekends, hosted by the only Louis Diamond. You can watch us on louisdiamond.com. Also, YouTube at Louis Diamond. Today we have two sports handicappers. We're down to Chip, we're down to Ross, but we still have Tony Gulledge and, of course, a Louis bag of diamonds. Today, we're all going to talk all about the NBA Finals and Major League Baseball playoffs, and there's a lot going on. So let's introduce these two guys today, Mr. Tony Gulledge and Louis Bag of Diamonds. Guys, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here and playing injured. It's always appreciated.
Good morning, Brad. Glad to be here.
Hey, good morning, Brad. How are you today?
I'm just wonderful. I don't know if you guys heard the news, but Bill O'Brien, the Houston Texans head football coach, has been fired. The first head coach of the year already fired. And Louis, I think you talked about this earlier. Maybe it was our football preview show. You mentioned something about Bill O'Brien would be the first head coach. Is that accurate? It might be accurate, but I don't know if Louis Diamond's here right now. He was here. There he is.
That's right. Yeah. There you go. All right. So, yeah, heard the news. Absolutely. We gave you the news. Gave it to you in the beginning of the season where I said Bill O'Brien would be the first coach to be fired this NFL season. And it's been a successful run betting against him. Unfortunately, the train ends. Now the question is, do we still bet against the Texans? We'll be looking into that after I take a deeper look into how the situation has changed over the weekend. So, but it was pretty obvious. So now I guess the next question is, who's going to be the next coach to get fired? And I would have to say that would be Adam Gase up in New York. What do you think? Any ideas?
Adam Gase sounds really good. There's a couple other names floating around. I don't think Matt Patricia will be fired to the end of the year, but Adam Gase, if he doesn't turn this around with the Jets, I believe that is the choice, the obvious choice. What about you, Tony Gulledge?
Well, the first thing I will note is not only was Bill O'Brien the coach, he was the GM also, which that might have been part of the problem in and of itself. So the first thing they need to do is go find themselves a GM to run the organization. Yeah, Bill O'Brien was a dumpster fire, one of those guys that a little bit too high on himself. And I get the impression after watching these games this year that I think the team kind of just didn't lay down on him, but they didn't give their full effort. And with a talented team, I mean, the Texans are full of talent up and down the roster, and perhaps now with a fresh start in terms of administration, they can maybe turn their season around and have something to look forward to next year.
Yeah, that's kind of, if the Jets fire Adam Gase, are they really going to turn this around? I know you don't think so, Tony, because you're not a big fan of Sam Darnold or the whole roster. So does that make sense to fire Adam Gase right now or wait to the end of the year? Does anyone have an idea?
I think they should probably just eat it. And the way I always feel, making changes during the season is basically just giving up, throwing up the white flag. I mean, if you're paying these guys anyway and there's no opportunity to improve your season, why cut your throat and bleed out? Just take your lumps along the way and be prepared to make the changes once the time is right. I mean, when you just dump somebody now, how could they be prepared? If they were prepared, someone would already be hired. So obviously they weren't prepared for this. They're just kind of going off the cuff. That's my opinion.
And that's a very good opinion, Tony. Thank you very much. Guys, we're going to move to game number 1, which is the NBA Finals. Game number 4, 2-1 Lakers lead. This opened up at -5 Lakers. It is at -7.5. I guess they think that Anthony Davis won't be in foul trouble. LeBron James will be pissed and not turn over the basketball as much as he did a couple nights ago. Opened up at 218.5 to over under. It is now 219. We'll start with Louis Bag of Diamonds. What are your thoughts for this game?
Well, surprisingly enough, Brad, I'm coming in with a little action on the NBA here tonight.
I like it.
So hopefully I'm not jumping in at the wrong time or anything like that. But I really feel like the Heat have set the pace. LeBron could be pissed, But he, and he's kind of saying the right things. I don't feel like we're concerned. They haven't lost back-to-back games in the playoffs. They're saying that, it means nothing. But Miami's got in their face. They got in their face hard. And they did it with injuries. And now Jimmy Butler's coming right out and saying, we're going to win. Okay? He came in, said, we're going to compete. We're not going to lay down. We're going to fight back. And we're going to even this thing up 2-2. So maybe he's selling some confidence. I don't think he's selling overconfidence. I think he just absolutely believes in his team, and I think that they're on a new high. So I'm going to take them points today. I think 7.5 is going to have some value. Absolutely.
Tony, this game opened up -5. It is now -7.5. A lot of Lakers money. Where are you putting your dollars?
Okay. Lakers have lost 3 games in the playoffs, and after each loss, they have won no less than 5 consecutive games after each loss. I compare it to a jockey on a horse coming down the stretch. You hit it with the whip, and it goes a little faster. I think each loss for the Lakers is a hit with the whip. In the 3 losses, the game immediately following, the Lakers are 2-0-1 against the spread, with the 1 draw coming in Game 4 against Denver, where they missed a free throw that would have covered it. Basically, they've been in position to cover every game after a loss. And I think this is what the Lakers need. They get content and they get lazy when the series just get bland. I think this is just going to spur them on. I mean, Miami played great. Lakers had 10 turnovers in the first quarter last game. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think the Lakers are going to play much cleaner, and I think that loss is going to focus them and drive them. Adebayo not being there is going to hurt in the long run. I like the Lakers tonight. I know the general consensus is the Heat are going to – I think it's a lot of hype to me. Like, the ESPN Sports Center they want to create the drama, the network. Everybody wants to create drama to get the eyes on the TV. But I just don't view this. I like the Lakers before the series. I viewed it 5 or 6 games with Adebayo going down. I thought Heat would do good to win 1 game. I was on them, and they won the game. Great. Now the chess move is to go back to the Lakers. That's where I'm going tonight.
All right,
zigzag,
guys, we're in opposite directions. I like that.
The zigzagging. Yeah, the zigzag.
There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to go to Major League Baseball, the playoffs, game number 2, the Yankees at Tampa Bay. This opened up Yankees make that Tampa -105. It is now -125. Over under 7.5 moved to 8.5. This is interesting. Louis Diamond, why do you think these numbers are moving so much?
Well, I think they just saw a couple overs yesterday, and I think maybe a little bit knee-jerk reaction, but we also have a couple pitchers here that don't scream under, and it's a little bit of a different matchup. You got 4 out of 5 overs for Garcia in his last 10 starts, yet to face the Rays, and you got 5 out of 6 overs for Glasnow in his last few starts. So definitely got some over trending there right now. I don't know. It's a tough game. That is a tough game, but I would have to. I honestly, I don't have a solid opinion on the game. I would be looking for this game to be betting under, but you already laid on the steam for the over, and you got over pitching. So I think I'm going to save a bet for the next game. I'll pass on this one.
All right, Louis Diamond passes. Tony, are you going to play?
Yankees bats blew up last night. The 9th inning, the top of the 9th, I think lasted about an hour, right? I went outside, did some shit in my garage when they hit the grand slam home run, and then come back literally like 20 minutes later. They are still batting. They loaded the bases again. So, the Yankees hitters are really on fire, and it's showing. They went from not being able to advance to now they win the first game against the best record in the league, Tampa Bay. Here's what I've got for this game, and I really love it. I had the Yankees yesterday. I love the fact they won. Now I feel it really sets back up. I love this matchup. Tampa Bay is a perfect 12-0 in the 10-2 in the 12 Glasnow starts. 10 wins, 2 losses in his 12 starts. 5-1 in his 6 starts on the road, and they're a perfect 7-0 in his last 7 starts. If you're looking for a guy to be on the mound for a bounce-back situation, this is the perfect guy. Garcia for the Yankees on the road, 2-2 in his 4 starts, and his ERA is about 5.25. So this guy isn't going to exactly be in a shutdown mode. I noted that he doesn't get a ton of outs, so the Yankees bullpen will have to do a lot of work today. Love this line. Under normal circumstances, I think this would be about a 160 play, but since the Yankees are hot, it's down to $1.25. Mathematically speaking, you're getting everything you want for the odds with Glasnow as the starting pitcher. I like Tampa Bay today.
Whoo! Tony!
Woo! Yeah. Nice.
That was a nice delivery.
Like Tampa Bay.
That was very nice. Now I'm liking Tampa Bay. That was very nice delivery. Absolutely. To the
There
point.
you go. See, now Louis not going to pass. He's going to play now. You sold him. Good job,
No,
Tony.
you make a lot of points.
Do I get a commission on that, so?
Yeah. Well, I'll send you some more zigzags, so you can zigzag your way through the NBA.
All right, gentlemen, game number 3, Major League Baseball. We have Houston at Oakland. This is their game number 2, but our game number 3. This opened up -110 Oakland, -107 now. Over under was 8.5, currently 9. Tony, we'll start with you. You were red hot. You played. What about this game?
Yesterday, best bet play was on the Houston Astros. They came through like champs, 8-5 win, +125 on the money line. So I got the win, and I got some juice in my pocket. This matchup, Valdez, Manea. I got a couple notes that both teams have done respectively well with these pitchers on the mound. The last 7 starts for Valdez, the Astros are 5-2. The last 7 starts for Manea, Oakland is 6-1. His ERA, Manea's ERA is about 1.5 better than Valdez, so you're getting a better pitcher in the situation. I love these bounce backs off the loss with the right pitcher and the right setup. You can't always just fall back on that position, but when you have it set up like this, when I made the play yesterday on Houston, I was kind of in mind looking to this spot to follow up with, and so far so good. I'm going to continue with what I laid out. I'm going to take Oakland in this game today.
Do you see what I did this time? I'm giving you the opportunity, Louis Diamond, to piggyback off of what Tony Gulledge just said. Please.
Ditto. How's that? No, you know what? Houston is 8-0 as an underdog. Their last 8 playoff games. I've touched none of it. I got none of it. And I'm done. I'm done. Oakland seems to be the play, but I'm done. I'm out. That's it. Tony's on a nice little roll with that, but I'm not going against Houston's playoff record right now. It's done nothing but beat me. So I'm out. Next game.
He's out. That would be game number 4. Miami at Atlanta. -180 Atlanta open. It is currently -201, 7.5 over under. Now it is 8. Tony G, what are your thoughts on this game?
This is a very intriguing matchup. You've got 2 pitchers whose teams have been surging when they started. Alcantara on the road. The Marlins are 4-0, and he has an ERA of 1.69. Fried for the Braves on the road. They're 5-0 in his starts with a 1.7 ERA. Almost identical pitching performances by both pitchers. I noticed that Alcantara, however, has been prone to pitch longer, so he's getting more outs. He's had 3 straight quality starts, and 7 of the 8 Alcantara starts this season have been designated quality starts, meaning 6 innings pitched or more with 3 runs or less allowed. So you're getting a guy that's been performing well, and I got it at +179. I understand that, going against the Braves seems illogical, but you have to factor in the math. And I just wanted to put a quick note down here on my numbers. I got this line at 143 for Atlanta, which would require, if you're taking the underdog, to hit 41.2% of the bets. But with the line that the books are offering at +179, you only need to convert 36% of those bets to break even. So you're getting that gap of about a 5% cushion. I understand the Braves are the darling right now, and I do like the Braves, but at this price, I cannot ignore Alcantara and the job he's done on the mound. and Miami coming off 2 straight wins in Wrigley Field. This is another situation where I'm going to back a team that I did not think would make it through the first series. Miami is another one of those. I'm going to play them at a huge dog price today.
All right. Bag of diamonds. Do you have anything to add?
You got a chance to grab a bag of diamonds in that dog today, but you are going against a guy that's won 9 out of his last 10 outings with Max Fried. He's also won 5 out of 6 versus the Marlins, so he hasn't struggled against them. But the Marlins, this is their spot as well with Alcantara, and they're coming off of 2 nice underdog wins. One thing about Atlanta, they're 50-50 ball club on the road, hot team at home. So I think there's definitely some value in the underdog here with Alcantara. So I wouldn't go to town on it, but I would definitely use it. Absolutely.
Coming up next, Tony Cusimano. He's somewhere in the United States. Where exactly is he? Maybe Carmen Sandiego knows because I don't. We'll find out next. You're watching BettorCenter Live on LouisDiamond.com. Also YouTube at Louis Diamond. Brad Stein here live from Las Vegas. Join us daily for BettorCenter Live with our professional handicappers, where you get sports information you can bet on. Stop gambling, start winning. BettorCenter Live. Tony Cusimano, looks like you are at Nissan Stadium. That's just a guess, educated guess.
Yes.
Hey, good. Can't get nothing past that, Brad.
And Brad, and everyone at BettorCenter, you're correct. I am back in the volunteer state. As you can see, I've got my volunteer orange on. We'll get to that later. Hey, one quick note, if I could, just to finish up, one quick note about the Marlins, too. They're batting .264 against left-handed pitching. I do kind of like the momentum they have coming into this game, just to add to what Tony G said. Now, here we are. We are in the Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, behind me, home of the Tennessee Titans. And boy, what a mix-up we have here. No more coronavirus positive cases here for the team. Now, I did speak to some people on the administrative side, no coaching staff, but the administrative side of the Tennessee Titans. And here's what we have. We have a makeup game with the Pittsburgh Steelers it was supposed to be played tonight, as we all know. Everyone thought that the coronavirus issues would be over, and that's why I'm here, because we thought we were going to have Tuesday night NFL football, but it never materialized. So Pittsburgh at Tennessee, again, put a line through it, and PPD it postponed until week 7. Why week 7? Because that's when the Titans have their bye week. But then you're probably thinking, well, how's the Steelers going to play in week 7 and bop and connect the dots? Well, here's what's going to happen. In week 7, Pittsburgh is to play the Ravens. But because the Ravens and the Steelers have a bye week in week 8, Steelers at the Ravens in week 8, Ravens get their bye week in week 7, and this game today that was supposed to be played today will be played at this stadium where I am currently in week 7. And I did speak to some administrative staff and everything, and they're saying no new positive testing for some players. But there's one other additional hurdle that has to be cleared now. The Buffalo Bills come to town this Sunday. Okay, there's no line, there's no total, there's no over and under side, anything like that. Why? Because we still don't know what, I guess the medical staff, NFL, and the Center of Disease Control, we don't know what's going down here for Sunday. Again, they also told me in administrative this could be a Tuesday night or a Monday night game, provided that these 7 players for the Titans end up getting better, or half of them, and so on and so forth. So that's where we stand. It's a whole ball of wax with the replay of this week in week 7, and Pittsburgh and the Ravens switching over to week 8, their normal bye week, and yada, yada, yada. So with that, that's where we stand with that. So we really are only speculating, but yes, I believe the game will be played.
One book right now has a line of the Bills -8.5. I don't know if that's actually bettable, but it's on a bet online, and 8.5. It's a lot of points on the road.
Well, I'll take the Titans. I'll tell you what, I'll take the Titans, even though they may come out rusty after. But again, they have a bye week. It was a bye week for them. They're rested. If they don't have all of their key players, maybe that's why, because of the coronavirus. Like I said, there's just a lot of speculation. The game may not even be played. So with that, not much other than speculation, not much to analyze with Buffalo Bills, the 4-0, mind you, Buffalo Bills and they're riding the hot hand too. I actually, if the line wasn't so big, I'd jump on the road chalk on that one. Only one other couple quick notes in the great state of Tennessee as I am here, and I've got my, the Tennessee orange on today. Tennessee, I believe they're 16th or 17th in the nation, depending on what poll you look at. The Volunteers, they're at Georgia this weekend, so that's a big matchup. Knoxville, about 60 miles east of here. Other local news, Vanderbilt, they got spanked. They didn't even cover the spread here against LSU on Saturday. They end up playing a home game here against the Gamecocks. Not much hype there. Aside from all that, Brad and Lou and company and all the eye candy back there, Chip and Tony, I'm going to throw it back to you guys. I really, I think I've what would be the terminology? I've exhausted this subject with the Tennessee Titans. We don't even know if there's going to be a game this week, but the game of Pittsburgh and Tennessee will be replayed in Week 7 at this stadium. That we know. You talk about a pandemic. The NFL is going to be in a pandemic if this Buffalo game doesn't get played, because then what do they do? The administrative staff told me there might be a Week 18 in the NFL where the Bills and the Titans would then play the 18th week after the final game of the season, and then the playoffs would be delayed a week. So if playoff implications are
looks like they're going to play though.
Buffalo. It looks like I would think they'll probably get this in on Monday. We'll probably get a twofer again like we did last night with a double play on Monday night. So with all of that, from the Music City, I salute everyone back there and get well, Mr. President. We know he's home already at the White House. Get well, First Lady, Mr. President. Take it away, crew. Back to you from the Volunteer State. Brad, go ahead. Take it away.
Cusimano, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much. That's Tony Cusimano, the man on the street. BettorCenter Live, LouisDiamond.com, also YouTube at Louis Diamond. Gentlemen, we're moving to game number 5. We're still in the Major League Baseball divisional rounds. This is the San Diego Padres. The Padres, baby, in the playoffs. It looks like Clevinger is on the mound against the Dodgers and Buehler. This game opened up minus 152 LA Dodgers. It is now minus 161. Over under 8. Now it's 8.5. Louis, bag of diamonds. Buehler, anyone?
It's really hard to think that the Dodgers are going to fall here because they got a long history. This isn't a team that they have just, first time that they've ever played. They've last 65 meetings. The Dodgers, 46-19, and that's at home, but 36-15 the last 51 meetings. So it's tough to not think the Dodgers are going to win. I think you got a tough series, but I don't think the Padres are scared this year. They got some bats. I wouldn't be too afraid to roll with Padres in this series a little bit, but I don't think Buehler's the guy that you want to mess with. This time here, he's 8 out of his last. He's won 8 out of his last 10 he's 8 out of his last 10 games. So he's kind of a hot pitcher, and I don't think this is the spot for with Clevinger on the mound against Buehler. I think Buehler would probably take this one, but I still wouldn't be afraid to look at some Padre action here, and probably a little lean on the under, but I don't see it's a toss up there.
Tony G, a little Padre action, maybe.
Honestly, just before we came on there, we're discussing the starting pitcher. Overnight, as I was doing my mad scientist handicapping brew to determine what I feel is a fair line for these games, I'm not able to make those calculations without a certain starting pitcher to work off of. So at this point, I haven't been able to really give this game its due diligence. So I'm going to withhold. I'll just note, yesterday I went 3-1 on the show, hit both baseball plays. We just want to keep that momentum going. I think we crushed it on the show Sunday. We did well yesterday. Let's just try to bang out these winners that we know for sure today and keep this momentum rolling forward.
Outstanding. Let's go to the most interesting play. Yeah, I like it. Who doesn't like it? And who doesn't like the most interesting play of the day because it's so damn interesting? Tony G, okay, forget about the starting pitcher there in San Diego. Give us your most interesting play of the day, please.
It's going to definitely be the Lakers here. I'm one of these guys that likes to read tea leaves. I like to kind of watch the ebb and flow to predict ahead. Most people, the gamblers, what they get confused with is basing what they expect to see on what they just saw. And in sports gambling, that's a loser's mentality. You have to be able to project forward and predict outcomes. For me, this just looks like I had Miami last game, and when they won straight up, I got a little giddy because I knew that would set up perfectly to come back and play the Lakers today. And for me, that is the most interesting play, the LA Lakers minus the 7.5.
Ooh, you heard that in the background, but look, it didn't mess you up. Look how you're in deep concentration. I love it, Tony G. Yes, it came at the end of your rant, but still, no sliders don't bother you, curves don't bother you. But how can we get in touch with you if we want to find out more great picks information?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is to go visit thegreatwhitecapper.com. There's a contact form. Just put your email. You can go view me on Facebook, on Twitter. I got a Great White Capper Facebook group, but on Twitter, I'm Tony Gulledge. On Facebook, I'm Tony Gulledge. There's no fake profiles. I'm easy to find. If you need to get a hold of me, I'll be glad to answer your questions, talk to you about what I do as a service, how I try to make people better gamblers in addition to giving them winning information. I try to educate people to raise them up from an average Joe to an actual predator in the ocean of sports gambling. Thank you, Brad.
A predator.
Oh, wow. You're very, very welcome. All right, Louis Diamond the first. Can you top this? What is your most interesting play of the day?
Well, I'm certainly not Louis Diamond the first. I'm really not even Louis Diamond. It's not my real name. And I'm not the one and only Louis Diamond. There's been
You are in the show.
quite a few of Louis Diamonds out there. And the most interesting Louis Diamond that you'll ever encounter would be the Leatherneck Marine Louis Diamond. I encourage you to learn about this Marine who saved many soldiers. So that being said, my most interesting play of the day is going to have to be with the dog. I think you just got to take a little flyer with the dog here with Atlanta. Don't think it's a big play, but I think it's something you're going to want to take a little flyer here, not with Atlanta, with Miami. Grab the Marlins, getting a nice plus $1.80 here today, or even take them on the run line and get yourself a little insurance. So that'll be my most interesting play of the day. And feel free to stop by louisdiamond.com, learn a little bit more about my history and how we can do some long-term marathon running here in the sports gambling world. Thank you, Brad.
You're so welcome. I actually like the Louis Diamond that sings Sweet Caroline. Great song.
Yeah, well,
that's good stuff.
So, I get a lot of people, Louis Diamond Phillips, and I'm like, well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We're gambling, right?
Close enough. All right, guys. Well, we're out of time. We'll see you next time on BettorCenter Live for more up-to-date information and fantastic picks from our fantastic team, Louis Diamond, Chip, Del Ross, and Tony. And, of course, special thanks to Eugene, our technical director and producer. We'll see you all tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on louisdiamond.com. Also, YouTube at Louis Diamond. Guys, if you don't play, you won't win. Next time, I'm Brad. Have a wonderful day.